Dear viewers, this is Gaza Media. My name is Ernest. I'm your host this afternoon here in Maryland, Eastern Standard Time. It's supposed to be 3 p.m. We're sorry and we apologize for coming in late. As we have announced that we'll be meeting with LECUDO leadership to discuss some of the projects that they have. LECUDO USA is the Bank Cultural and Development Organization based here in the USA. They have a lot that we have to talk about. They have also formed partnership with some other non-governmental organizations like the Live Bridge International. We'll be discussing on that, some of the health project, the educational project. There's a lot to unpackage, but I just want to ask that you share the link to all our viewers, especially the bank people, so that they should take the opportunity and able to listen to some of this discussion that we'll be having here this afternoon. And you can also send comment on our Facebook page or on our YouTube so that we can relay those questions to the leadership, who is the CEO, Mr. Terence. We'll bring him in with the CEO of Live Bridge International. I think most of you know him, but even if you don't, please stay tuned. Then we'll be right back as we'll bring you more on this discussion. Again, my name is Ernest here at Gaza Media. Okay, dear viewers, again, I'm back here at Gaza Media. So I will be introducing Mr. Terence Atem and Mr. Richard Nketa. I will let them introduce themselves to you, then we'll dive into the conversation. Yeah, both of you are welcome to Gaza Media.
Thank you for having us.
Yes. Can you just briefly, I know people know you already, but I would like that. I want to start with you, Mr. Terence, then after that, Mr. Nketa.
Yes, so my name is Terence Atem, currently CEO of Chief Executive Officer for LECUDO USA, and this is so far our third year. We took over 2020 with our entire executive to pilot the activities of LECUDO and try to really make an impact in the lives of our common people in Cameroon and the United States.
Yes, and Mr. Richard, you have also been very involved with, but before I even ask you that, just introduce yourself and how you find yourself with LECUDO participating, doing so much. I mean, sometimes people like, is this just a regular member, or is it one of the executive, but he's not the executive, but he's so much involved with the activity of LECUDO USA?
Well, thank you so much, Mr. Ernest. My name is Richard Nketa, and I'm the CEO of Live Bridge International. I'm also a psychiatric mental health nurse practitioner. So the reason I really got involved into doing what we're doing is because I saw that the leadership of LECUDO USA really improved, and they're doing a lot of stuff. So I thought it's a moment to come in and be able to be a part of this venture.
Yes, yeah, Mr. I know. Yeah, there are some questions that I will already ask you, especially when they come to those partnership discussion from last year to this time. Terence, why do you think that it was important, or you think that it's important to form partnership, or do you think that the LECUDO with a member they cannot function on their own?
Right, and that's a very important question. As you know, I have worked in the non-profit world I worked for quite a long time in Cameroon. I was managing an NGO, managing projects, but I also worked for other international organizations. And when you run a non-profit or you work for a non-profit, you realize that it is important to partner with like-minded organizations, like-minded people. But even within your own organization, life is all about building the partnerships. And the advantage for partnership, it means that if you're able to do, if you have a vision that will cost, say, $10,000, through partnership you can leverage, and you only have $2,000, you can leverage your $2,000 through partnership. People who have a common interest, common vision, to be able to achieve that goal. Rather than staying with $2,000 and then you're not able to achieve the bigger goal. So partnerships are really the way life, people make big, they achieve big things for
Yes,
organizations.
Terence, you're talking about partnership. I know you started this idea of partnership. I remember it was around 2 years ago in February, still in this same setting, when they asked you, you set up you earmark some of the things I wanted to do, especially the health committee. And listening to Mr. Richard, who is an expert, especially in the psychiatry nurse, then with the issue that our people are facing home, with the IDP, sometimes the trauma, if I'm right, then the kind of psychological torture that people go through. Somebody may be physically fit, but you think that looking at the physical torture, the person is well, but in the mind is not all right. Can you throw more light to that so that it will help us understand some of the health project that maybe LECUDO is engaged on?
Well, I'll talk a little bit about mental illnesses because you can, just like you rightly said, you can see somebody you look at them, you think that they are really doing good, but mentally they have an issue, they have a condition that is really affecting their lives. So mental health now comes in, to be able to deal with those conditions and help the person to regain their state of health. Because like I said, health is not just the physical illness that you have. It also has to do with the mental aspect, the psychological aspect of it, and that's where mental health comes in to be able to take care of it.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
can I just add something?
Yes, go ahead.
Yes, I think it's just to add to what our brother just said. When it comes to mental health, you're facing, it's as a result of just basically, that trauma and poor access to healthcare. In Africa, or in Cameroon in particular, they would resort to witchcraft and they would say, so we are coming in now to provide remedy and solutions to a vacuum that has been created. People have told us that there are not quite a good number of mental health institutions in Cameroon and even specialists. Now you see through this partnership, LifeBridge, the CEO of LifeBridge, which is a professional mental health specialist, you have so many other nurses, so many doctors who are professionals in mental health. So it's going to really be benefit our people back in Chang and in the village, especially at this time when there's a lot of trauma as a result of the war.
Yes, Sarita, I know you mentioned about trust from the beginning, and you're talking about partnership. How is it important to you, especially you, Mr. Richard? Last year you donated a lot of money to sponsor some of this health program that LECUDO is running. You were talking about trust, and I just want to throw it to you guys. How is networking relationship important to run an organization? Richard, you started by saying you want to trust. So
yeah, I'm gonna talk a little bit about that because in anything that you do in life with somebody, say in a partnership, in a business, the very first thing you want to cultivate is that trust. The trust that even if you are not there, that person is still going to be able to manage the business. So trusting somebody to do what we are doing, I mean, it's really important. And I think I saw that trust in the leadership of LECUDO USA before I said, okay, let me get involved in, be able to give back to the community.
Okay. Yeah,
Right,
thanks.
right. And just for the trust, trust is not just a one-way street. I just wanted to add that.
Yeah.
As he needed to trust us, we also have a lot of trust. The partnerships that we have developed we identified and then developed, it's really based on trust. Trust in the sense that the people are mission oriented. Because our executive really, we really don't have time to waste. So if you look at these partnerships, each of these partner has something really, really peculiar to offer. And we have built a very trustful relationship, and that is really giving us results.
Yes, okay, Terence, yeah, before we really talk more on this partnership, you started like you have some experience or a lot of experience, I believe, as you stated, in non-governmental organization, running NGO, community-based organization. And you seem to be using that approach a lot in LECUDO, and people kind of lost. I don't want to say people kind of lost. Maybe people are not able to follow the strength of the way the organization has been running, because through my media reporting, I've seen that it is different from how LECUDO was run in the previous year. I think we did a documentary talking of how sometimes LECUDO has to wait till after the year when the CEO will come and present a blueprint or whatever it is. Then after that, nobody heard of anything. Again, it was always people contribution $100 on the floor or something. But now it's totally different. Here we have Mr. Richard who donated some money. I think Mr. Martin Tebinu also donated some money. This is totally different. Can you explain to us or to our viewers why this is important? Building network and bringing different forces in to help the young people.
Right, I think it's important. As you talked about my background in Cameroon, I did a lot of training, so many. And as I said, I understand just to agree with what you're saying that some of our members are lost, some do not understand this, and we really don't fault them for that because, everybody has a specialty. People's life experiences determine how they think, and especially in America, things people have to defer to expert, to expert knowledge, right? To subject matter specialists. But unfortunately, a lot of times in our community, everybody wants to think that they know something on a subject matter that they have not been trained, they have not actually done the work. So we are doing a lot in terms of just educating our people. Now, with that said, the way you run an organization first, you need to have a team that has a vision and that can work together. You need to be able to reduce conflict. You need to also be able to make sure that each member, especially in the league, they have a voice, right? It's not about you as CEO, but it's about a team. And I spend, I used to train in Cameroon, train people about team building, train people about institutional building, lobbying, advocacy. So all of that has come into fruition with the way we try to manage liquidity. And we also realize that we are all Lebanon people, we are all the BLM people. We have the same interest in helping our people, and through these other organizations who also sometimes have other missions. Each time we get into a partnership, and this is important, Mr. Enes, so that we educate our people. People have to understand that when you get into partnership, partnership means you have to also accommodate the interests of the other partner. So they have things that they want to achieve, and some of the things we have to do as the LECUDO is to accommodate their own vision and their own goals. And sometimes you see people say, "Oh, why should we not just narrow things this and do this?" No, get a partnership. It's a win-win. You need to make sure that that other partner is getting into this because they have a shared interest, and we need to accommodate their own interest too.
Okay, Terence, let's just take a quick break So that we'll focus on this partnership, especially now, then we'll begin to focus on specific projects. I know LECUDO has a lot that they want to do. Then I think their leadership, to the current leadership, would soon expire. So that we're looking at the future of LECUDO USA. But before we get to that, we would like to talk more on the health project, since we have one of our experts here who would like to educate more our parents at home, especially with the oncoming project that is coming on. So dear viewers, stay tuned and stay connected. We are not going away. Do not get disconnected. We will just give you maybe 30 or 1 minute break to maybe take a sip of water. Then when we come back, we begin to focus on what the LECUDO, or the whole package that the LECUDO have for you. We are privileged to have all this important personality. Yes, please stay tuned. Dear viewers, I'm back again. Sorry for taking too much time, but as we promised you, this is a very important topic that we think that the bank people need to get this information so that they will be able to take care of themselves, and that will bring us to this topic on health. And we would like the CEO to explain to us what LECUDO have as a concern to health. He has a lot of health programs that they have been preparing, and as you know that last year they were in Chang with the health mission, where a lot of people, even beyond the bank, benefited from those that health campaign there. So I would like Mr. Terence to. Over to you, Mr. Terence, to explain to us.
Yes. So there is a general saying that health is wealth, and that has been our caption in the executive. That for us to be able to really help our people, we need to make sure they are healthy, and that they should gain access to a good healthcare system. So with that in mind, so we focus on both access and affordability, because of the war, we really don't have all the clinics in the suburbs have collapsed. The only hospital that we have now is Mary Health, and we don't have a doctor there, but we felt that those who are there sacrificing, we should make sure we give them the tools to be able to do what they do. So LECUDO has been supporting Mary Health, which is the only hospital that serves the entire BLM and also Upper Bayan. So we'll be supporting them with first we started supporting them with funds, and then we transitioned to putting something that is like a health insurance program. And in that program, people can go to the hospital even when they don't have money, because we pay consultation fee, we pay medication up to 1,000 francs and all of that. And the good thing is that all of this is done, that program is funded with no development dues from LECUDO by LifeBridge. Luckily we have the CEO here, who donated the funds that subsidize all medications. We talk about 1,000 money, $2,000, which was about 1.2 million, to subsidize medications for at least 1,000 persons a year, patients. So each patient who goes to Mvo can get their medications paid for up to 1,000 francs. So that is huge. We also have Mr. Temenu Martin under his Bezalifak Foundation. Him and his wife, they also donated $2,000 to help out with the for us to find a doctor. But also very important is the fact that when the fund came here and had a meeting with the bank people, and then people gave some money to support him, he turned around. That money in total was about $6,000, and he turned around. He said no. He came from Cameroon, heard that, and people testified that the health programs for LECUDO were really so impactful. So he said he would rather prefer to hand that money back to LECUDO. Those donations, those contributions that people gave for him, so he said no, he wouldn't take this money. People are suffering a lot, and he handed that money back to LECUDO, about $6,000. So we use 50% of that money to subsidize the insurance program. And again, I would like to add that is, this is money that the fund people raise, and I've heard some noise out there. People make videos and audios and say, oh, the fund, the CEO of LECUDO and LECUDO, they have meetings and raise money with Portason, and they go and, kill Masha. But, I mean, when you are in these positions, there are some people who want to do their clandestine, do their propaganda. That's fine. We're focused on this thing. So, so that's the program in Mary Health. We now have now I will talk about the health campaign, which is kind of a flagship project, which is basically, we have all these volunteer doctors, nurses, other medical specialists, who are sacrificing their time to go help our people, especially the IDPs who are outside, outside of Fontaine.
Okay, let me interject. I think you sent out a circular asking for volunteers. Let me just ask you a follow-up question. How many of those volunteers have you gotten, or are people already applying for? Or do you think that the information is reaching the bank people that are in the health field that they want to come and volunteer?
Right. We have a lot of volunteers right now. We have more than 45 volunteers, a lot of medical doctors, a lot of nurses. We also added mental health specialists. We also added eye services. So we have.
So you are anticipating that the medical mission this time will be really bigger than the one of last year?
Very, very huge. It's going to be very huge, and we are ready for whatever comes our way. Yeah.
Okay,
and I also wanted to say that the medical mission even for last year had beneficiaries from all over the country. You have people who came from Ebolowa, Yaoundé, Douala, Limbe, Boya. So it's not just our immediate IDPs in the Western Province.
I think we are glad that Mr. Richard is here, who was in Cameroon. Viewers, so I would like you to watch this video of Mr. Richard when he was in Cameroon for that medical mission, so that we'll look at it, then we'll ask him questions. He will allow him to share his experience with us, how it felt. So let's just take a quick glance at some of the interview that he had. That was a year ago.
A lot of people, and the population is really, everybody is excited, and we are hoping that we are able to provide those services and make our people happy.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Good day.
Good day to you.
Please introduce yourself and tell our viewers what group do you represent here and what really is your goal, reaching out to the underserved community to provide health care.
Okay, my name is Richard Nkweta, and I'm a psychiatric nurse practitioner from the US, specifically from Maryland. And I'm here today representing two organizations. First, LECUDO USA, and then LifeBridge International. So I want to take this opportunity to thank LECUDO USA for organizing this initiative. It is really a needed initiative for our people that are suffering. And as the founder and CEO of LifeBridge International, I want to also say that our mission is to be able to assist people, especially the less privileged. We try to provide services to those people that need it. By our mission is saving life, one life at a time. And what really motivated me to start doing this is because I come from Lebanon, Fontaine, and looking at the healthcare in that area, I think that it is really in need of support. And being a healthcare professional, I think this is the best way I can give back by supporting and financing such initiative. So, but like I said, this is the beginning, and we are hoping that in the near future we'll be able to provide more services to our people. We
Yeah, indeed, this is the beginning. As Mr. Richard, I was just listening to you. Now, I want to ask you, I think there was a lot that you did down there in Cameroon. Please, can you just maybe share your experience seeing our people, I mean, being displaced from Lebanon, from the village, and now refugee or internally displaced in Chad? I mean, sometimes when you see somebody from the video, from a distance, it's different from when you shake hands with that person.
Okay. Well, I mean, last year, March, we went to Chang, where we had the medical mission, as you can see from the interview. And I was there, and personally, I had the opportunity, to meet a lot of those IDPs, and talking to them, you had people that had not seen a physician for like 5 years since the crisis started. And we had people that were walking around with like really grossly elevated high blood pressure, people with blood sugars of above 700, but they're still walking around, which is really, I mean, that's a medical emergency. So being on the ground, I mean, it gave me that opportunity to be able to interact with them, coordinate the affairs of the medical mission. And I think it's a great opportunity that our people had, and we are looking forward again to, organizing another medical mission in March. And it's thanks to, LECUDO USA and other partners like LifeBridge International, Healing Beyond the Horizon, and the Fiange Polyclinic in Chang, where the mission actually took place. So, I mean, being on the ground, it was really emotional because you look at people. We have healthcare here. We have the privilege that we are able to, while we live here, we have health insurance. We are able to afford and go see the doctor as many times as possible. But the reality is, back home, you have people that have never seen a physician for 5 years, but they have critical conditions. They have critical medical conditions. They have psychiatric disorders because of the crisis. People are traumatized. There's depression, the PTSD,
Yes, Richard,
and all that stuff.
Richard, I'm not cutting you short. Sometimes if you are not in the field of health practice or you are not a health professional, sometimes you just look at people, oh, I have back pains, you don't know. But somebody like you, when you look at maybe lab result, when you measure this blood pressure, you are looking at the value, this blood sugar level, you know what it means. Somebody who is a non-medical person will not even understand. I mean, if LECUDO, or if we say somebody represent LECUDO, who is just maybe a non-medical person, okay, the person is just there. But you were there, not just as, I mean, as an expert, that you look at somebody's lab, you look at somebody's health situation, you know what it means. How were you able to bring comfort to those that you were able to touch them?
Well, the medical mission, we had a lot of professionals. We had doctors, we had nurses, we had volunteers, we had technicians, lab technicians, and there were surgeons, because during that period of time that we were there, we had to, we did surgeries. The surgeons, I think we did about 13 surgeries.
Yeah, I remember even our own reporter, Gillette Atemkin, also benefited. I mean, she's not an IDP,
Right.
but she went there for reporting.
Right, right, and
Yeah.
she even made that video where she talked about her friend who had a similar problem,
Yeah,
and spent about 2.5 million at the reference hospital in Yaoundé.
yeah.
And think about it, she's coming to this program, right, that LECUDO and its partners have organized, and she's getting this for free. So it's a big deal, and I can talk about each of these cases. You have kids who had hernia, had appendicitis. They've had that for many years. They have been in pain because the parents don't have money. These are IDPs struggling in Chang and all over the country, displaced from their homes. They don't have money. They are struggling to prioritize feeding, having food, putting food on the table, right? And having to go to a hospital, and that pain has been there, and they were able to come and get that surgery for free. So, I mean, it was really phenomenal, and
Yeah,
thanks to them.
Yeah, Richard, back to you again. I mean, these were all the people that were even able to come to Chang. What about those that are in the village? What do you think we can do, or what? I mean, is there any way out?
Well, it's really, it's really an unfortunate situation, but again, I would say thanks to LECUDO USA leadership in partnership with its sponsors, this year's medical campaign is going to go all the way to Mental Health of Africa Hospital. So we will endeavor, to be able to meet those people that cannot come to Chang in the village. And by this, we are appealing that people should, they should be able to send out messages, tell your neighbor that this medical mission is coming up in March. And I think Terence is going to be able to talk on the exact date so that people know when to come out.
Right. So I think you raised a point. Now the medical mission last year was just in Chang, but this year we decided, especially with instructions from also recommendations from the General Assembly, that we're going to hold the first phase in the village in Maryhill. And this is going to be from March the 15th, which is a Monday, through March the 17th, which is a Wednesday. And then people are going to, anybody who needs specialty care, because of the limitations of Maryhill, will then have a few days to be able to come to Chang. And we're going to have the program in Chang from March the 20th to the 22nd. So Maryhill is going to be 3 days. That's Maryhill in Fontem. It's going to be 3 days. And Chang is going to be 3 days. So Maryhill is from March the 15th to March the 17th. And the program in Fienga Clinic is going to be from March the 20th to March the 22nd. And it is important that we emphasize, if people see March the 19th for the Chang program, March the 19th, Sunday, which is a Sunday, that's actually the date that the volunteers have to get to Chang. It's not the date that they are receiving any patient. So they are getting to Chang on Sunday, which is March 19th, but the effective program for any patient is going to be from Monday, which is March the 20th. So we need to emphasize this. And we have doctors coming from Canada, the United States, and then of course a lot of doctors from Cameroon.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Thank you for that information. I think I will get more date because I can only remember the 19th. So I will get it so that we'll be able to circulate it. We'll put it. We'll repeat that on the news, so that people will get more informed. Some of the detail will be able to come on. Yes, Mr. Richard. I think you mentioned that probably you'll be going again to Cameroon for the same mission.
Well, I'm hoping that I'll be able to go. But even if I don't go, we have a lot of professionals that are coming from the US, like Terence said. Some are coming from Canada, and they're going to be delivering the services. So whether I'm there or not, we're going to have volunteers, professionals, who will be able to, take care of the IDPs and provide those services that are needed. And I just want to take this opportunity, to kind of talk to the Leban people, because when it comes to health care, and if you look at those of us who are in the diaspora, I would say we are really privileged. It's a privilege. It's not. We are privileged to be here, and that we are able to go to the hospital as many times as we can to see a physician, to see the different specialists. But let's look at our people back home. People trek from, like right now, nothing is happening in the BLM. So that's really a sad situation. And then you have those people that are just sitting there now and praying and hoping that maybe this medical mission comes up in March so they can come. So I'm using this opportunity, to kind of talk to our people and say, hey, this is a volunteer services. And therefore, if you are able to, donate whatever it is, it doesn't matter how small, towards this medical mission, we are going to go deliver those services. And I'm really glad that there is a lot of accountability, because like you said, last year my NGO donated $2,000 for the project in Maryhill of Africa Hospital. And
I think this is the
these are the heroes of the bank.
This is the spirit.
Yeah.
Richard, I cannot thank you enough for all those kind of services. I think Terence mentioned that if you are sick and if you are in the bank, you go to hospital, you may have some discount on your medication up to about 1,000 francs. So I really want our people to get this kind of information so that they should be aware and the kind of services that they are doing. And at the same time, we here at Gaza Media is saying that if you are from Lebanon, or if you know any of the sponsors who want to give to charity, you can contact the leadership of the LECUDO USA so that at least the people of Lebanon can get some basic medical help. And Richard, he has the experience in the health field. He has been down there on the ground and see the suffering that people are having, and think that it is important that we donate in our own little way. Yes, Mr. Let me get back to you again. Airtel is explaining that these services, there will be some in in Vo and Maryhill and one in Chang. Would they be able to, those that people that do not have the possibility to come to Chang, would they have the kind of similar services that those that in Chang will be able to? Because sometimes people have argued that, oh, we are not carrying projects back home.
Safety and security for its volunteers. So it's very open. The program in Vo, it's open to all our volunteers. But that it's up to them to make that determination whether, especially the specialist doctors, the specialty doctors and nurses, especially those who are coming from the diaspora, especially those who are coming from the diaspora. So it's up to each individual. If we are encouraging everybody to go to Maryhill and help, but it's also up to them. The other thing that I want to say is, and this is important to our volunteers, that the boys on the ground, we as a humanitarian organization always have to speak to anybody who impacts security and safety. And the boys on the ground are our brothers. They really want people to come and help their people. I want to get this out so that people understand they are not an obstacle. They want people, they want their people who are left, especially those left in the village, to benefit from all the services. But again, it's going to be left up to, how each individual feels. So that is the position we've taken.
Yes, yeah, David, I will give you another quick 30 seconds or 1 minute. Yes, dear viewers, again, this is Gaza Media, and the program on the air is meeting or LECUDO USA in partnership with some other non-profit organization proposing to help Lebanon people. So here in the studio we have Mr. Atem Tereng, who is the CEO of LECUDO USA, and Mr. Richard Nkweta, who is the CEO of LifeBridge International, who has been contributing through his foundation to LECUDO USA. Let me get back to you, Terence. We were talking on the health project before we switched. I understood that last time Gaza Media interviewed I believe was the CEO of LifeBridge International, or the leadership, whom Dr. Fonkem Ekokobe and Hidden Beyond the Horizon. Right. Yes, Dr. Fonkem Ekokobe and Dr. Pamela Martin, if I remember, where they came, they explained their goal of less privilege in Africa, just like what Mr. Martin or Mr. Nkweta is doing. So, are you still, but then the question I want to present to you is, are you still in partnership with those organizations?
Yeah, of course. This, LifeBridge, Healing Beyond the Horizon, and also a lot of the, Fiengep, which is our host for the Chang, this thing, and then now we added the Folklore movement, which is Maryhill of Africa. This thing, we are still, they are all still together. But it's important for me to provide perspective so that people understand what LifeBridge and Healing Beyond the Horizon are putting on the line. Last year, when the campaign was planned for Chang, the LECUDO USA could not send leadership to members from the leadership team to go and supervise and coordinate the program. So Mr. Richard, 5 nurses, that all of this was cost covered by him. If you look at, and then he provided a lot of supplies, all the medical supplies were covered by LifeBridge. And you talk about cost that it's close to $20,000. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. So, and this year, you see, we're not even adding the support that he gives to the health insurance program in Maryhill. That's a whole separate ball game and contribution that they are doing. And this year they're going to even be doing more. it is important to state this so that when you put numbers onto a program out there, people then can understand the sacrifices that this organization is making. Now, let me talk about Healing Beyond the Horizon, which is also a very crucial partner, and which is led by, by Dr. Martin Palmieri, who is a CEO, and Dr. Horizon took care of all the medications. All the medications. You're talking a lot of money for the program. They also instituted a 90-day program. That means after the campaign in Chang, we took patients who had the most critical condition and put them on a 90-day program of monitoring and helping them to teach them how to manage their medications, do their treatments, make sure that they are referred, they follow up with their referrals to specialty doctors. And during those 90 days, Healing Beyond the Horizon provided all those medications again for free. So all these people who were diabetics, who had high blood pressure and other diseases, they had all their maintenance medications again for free for the 90 days. The nurses that coordinated that program were paid for free. Were paid by Healing Beyond the Horizon. So if you look at in terms of impact, that is a lot that they're investing in these programs. This year, we just also wanted to thank Healing Beyond the Horizon for making a decision to send 4 of their volunteers. They're going to be sending they're going to be sending 2 medical doctors and 2 medical student doctors. That's going to be 4. It's going to make a huge difference. So it's not just the money that they're putting in, it's also the fact that they are sponsoring 2 medical doctors, 2 student doctors to go and provide services for free. So it's a lot of money.
I think you make one important point. I think let's try to equate it. Let me ask Mr. Richard. And this is not economics. This is just to make our viewers and people understood, or people should understand what you are trying to explain. Say for example, if LECUDO were to have all this money by itself and to hire a medical doctor, someone like you who is a practitioner, to go down there and consult, treat people, do all those kind of services, how much do you estimate that a professional made by yourself, I'm not saying you should pay your salary to people here, how much do you think the LECUDO will pay one medical personnel to go and stay in Chang for 3 days, so that I just bring this up so that people should understand when we are talking about partnership, we talk about medication. How much does this medication cost? Just talk about the human services.
But I mean that's really a tough question, because if you want to really equate the services that we provide in terms of money, I would say that it's really tough, because let's say for example, I have to go to Cameroon, right? A flight ticket now is like in the 2000s, maybe 1900, 1800, up to 2500. So then when you get to Cameroon, you need to get a rental car, you need to get accommodation, right? And then you need to put gas in that car, and you need to feed yourself. For those number of days that you are displaced, that's really a lot
You have
of
to
money.
make sure you while you are out there,
While you are
still
out,
pay your mortgage
you
here
still
in
pay your
America.
mortgage here, and you still taking care of your family, and that's why
And the numbers of hours that if you were working, say because when I saw all those doctors, some were surgeons, cardiology, the gynecologists like Dr. Fontevera. So just imagine that if they were to pay for those 3 days, if you multiply those 3 days by 8, which is probably...
Wait. To be honest with you, as he said, we cannot even... I understand their point. I think the point you're trying to make is to provide people with a picture of how much these services would cost.
Yeah,
if they had to... Yes.
If you couldn't have money, how much they would dish out to.
How much they will have to spend on this program. But these are volunteers. And Mr. Kumba, let me take this opportunity. Our volunteers from Cameroon who sacrifice to attend, to come and help, I think it's important that we take the opportunity to thank them. Because these are people who are giving up their jobs to take the time off. We do not pay them. And I want this to go on the record, so that when people see each of these doctors, see these nurses, they should give them a hug and thank them. We don't pay them to do this work. If at their clinics, for somebody to get surgery, you talk about hundreds of thousands. They are doing this for free. They are giving us 3, 4, 5 days, because they have to travel on Sunday and they come Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, then Thursday. Those are 5 days. These are working days. These are work days. So we just think we should take the opportunity to thank all these volunteers from Cameroon who are doing a great job, but also to thank our partners, including Fiengep Polyclinic, that opened up its doors. Because without Fiengep Polyclinic, we wouldn't have a theater. We would be doing the campaigns like other people do. They go and rent a hall and they do a little thing. This is comprehensive healthcare that we provide, from the beginning to the end, the entire process, spectrum of health care provision. So Fiengep has really, Mark for Fontaine, we really want to thank her and her team for opening up the doors of Fiengep to us. And we want to thank the Folklore movement also, that signed a memorandum of understanding with us to be able to run this program, this healthcare program in Maryhill, the insurance program, and also now the campaign that is going to take place this year. Sometimes the only thing you can do as a CEO is to just thank people, because you can't pay them, you can't give them anything else. So, yeah.
Thank you, Terence, for throwing more light in that. I think before we finish this segment, I would like to just briefly ask you maybe the challenges that you face now in the LECUDO. You have, like I said earlier, you have barely about 6 months to go, I believe. I'm not pushing you out.
Right.
I just want to.
No, we don't have 6 months to go. Just we have 6 months to
election.
Not to the convention. We just did elections, and we won another mandate for 2 years.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Okay. Yes. Okay.
Next year. There are quite a good number of challenges, especially from a personal level. When I hear people call, make audios, make videos, and then call LECUDO's name, call my personal name, and say, we're involved with politicians, with, killing FEMA Shah. Just on the record, FEMA Shah, Chris, and those are my second cousins. FM was like a brother to me. I went to government school up with him. We grew up in Azi, so we had a very tight bond. There are people who have their own agendas out here, make audios, videos. That's up to them. We stay focused, and I understand when you are in leadership, you're a leader. Not everybody will like you. Not everybody will want you to succeed, and other people will go and give, pretend that they are giving information that is honest, but they are basically manipulating. But we stay in the course, right? So that is a challenge that we kind of dismiss it. It comes with the territory, especially with the school situation that we have been able to improve, move from one school. And just for the record, like you hear people calling us, we started the first school at Bel Air after negotiating with FM. FM is the one who green-lighted it. In spite of the fact that some people who are creating videos today and audios today discourage him and fought against the common man going to school. These are community schools. And what FM said, no, the interim government has said schools can, schools who are not government schools can go on. And as an executive, we said no. If this is what it's applying in all the other places, then why do they have to have a different set of rules for the rest of the Anglophone, Southern Cameroon? And then they come to Fontaine and they say, no, we should have a different set of rules. The schools should not, the community schools, private schools, and mission schools should not go on. So I think people are running their own agenda, but we stay on the side of the people, and we are very happy that the boys on the ground, they are the ones encouraging us, that they want their people to go to school. And that's why a lot of the noise really does not mean anything to us.
No, but I think if people call your name, it means that you are relevant. If you are not relevant, people will not call your name. So,
and,
yes.
And I want to interject a little bit and throw more light on this stuff, because I really want people to understand that our mission is not to do politics. We are out to save lives, and that's exactly what we do, and we stay on that lane. So I just want to make that clarification.
Right. And just to also add, I think we have to ensure security, safety and security. And for us to do that, we must talk to any actor who can impede the security and safety of our people, even the patients who go to benefit from our program. So when you hear people say, oh, the CEO spoke to the SDO, the CEO spoke to the DO, the CEO spoke to this person. No, we go to conventions and we tell people say, oh, they make a decision, the General Assembly makes a decision, go and do schools. I, as CEO, has an obligation to make sure that the people on the government side understand that we're not doing anything illegal. The people on our, on the amber side understand that we're not doing anything illegal, and protect and make sure they don't they don't cause any security harm. We have to do that. So some people who don't want us to talk to the DO to protect the school or to protect the patients going to the hospital, they don't want, the other people don't want us, the people on the side of the government don't want us to talk to Amber. They have tagged us that we are Amber supporters, sympathizers. So we understand there are people who are playing their politics, but as they are playing their politics, we only suggest to them and really strongly recommend that they should understand this is a humanitarian organization, and humanitarian, this thing, we are political, we don't pick sides, we don't get into politics, we focus on our mission, which is to help the common man and make sure anybody invested in that program is safe and secure.
Can you give the date of that mission again? It was
for Mary Health, it's going to be March the 15th to the 17th. And then we're going to skip 2 days, which is March the 18th to the 19th. It's to allow our people in the village who need specialty care, and if the specialty doctors did not go to Mvo, those 2 days now will allow them, that's March 18 and 19, for them to come up to Chang, so that from the 20th of March, Monday the 20th of March, to Wednesday the 22nd, they can then consult in Fianga Polyclinic. I also need to add that this year, Chang in particular, services are only open to Lebang people. Only Lebang people. For Mary Health, services are going to be open to everybody who has access to Mary Health, because the folklore in our memorandum of understanding has told us that they cannot discriminate. So anything we're doing there, that is the only hospital that provides health care to anybody from the BLM, anybody from Upper Bayan, and we cannot change that. And so I really need people to understand that, so that people don't come and say, oh, non-Lebang people went to Mary Health. No, we have agreements that we cannot, and it's important. The white people left Italy, all around the world, and came and sacrificed. Many of them died of malaria. They were not Lebang people, to establish Mary Health.
Okay, Mr. Terence, I think I'm seeing Mr. Richard maybe issued to say something very important, which I would like to maybe give that opportunity. Viewers, as many of you have known, I think last year we reported.
If I go back memory lane and I look at when my father died in 2012, and from all indications, it looked like he had a stroke in a village. And by the time he was able to be transported to Douala, it took him 48 to 72 hours. In a medical emergency, we have a window of opportunity where you can survive if you are having a stroke. And that window of opportunity, he lost it because one, there's no transportation, there's no healthcare facilities in the village, and so what motivates us is all of these activities, and then the sacrifice, because given this morning, I'm sacrificing, or Life Bridge is sacrificing some other things that it could have done with this money. But when I look at the people in my village, I see that people are really struggling. That drives us to be able to work hard and be able to, continue to do these donations that we are doing, that we're about to do again today. And, we'll donate on behalf of Life Bridge, we're going to donate $2,000.
Grab the check now.
Yeah.
This is awesome, man.
$2,000.
This is awesome. This is
LECUDO
$2,000
for the
by 1.2 million.
Yeah, for the mission in Ver. And the reason we continue to give is because, like I said, accountability, good leadership, governance. So that has been proven. That is good leadership in LECUDO USA,
people,
and therefore we continue to do this. Yeah. Because the one that we donated last year, Terence has been able to give me feedbacks, and I'm hoping that there's going to be a day when I'll be able to go back to the hospital and probably talk to some of those people who benefited as proof that this money was well utilized. And I just want to take a moment now to appreciate my family, my wife, because if I didn't have a good wife, if I didn't have a good family, I would not be doing this. And so I take this opportunity to really say I appreciate my wife and kids, for supporting me, for being there for me while I do this, while we collectively do this for our people back home. And again, I said earlier, I call on every son and daughter of Leban. It doesn't matter how small it is, because imagine that we have 5,000 of us in the USA, and everybody donates whatever it is that you can afford. Will make a huge impact. And Life Bridge, we have some projects at hand. We have projects that are going to be developing with due time, and I'm just hoping that we'll have the right atmosphere back home to be able to implement those projects. Like teach people how to do life-saving measures. We might even be able to open a medical center. So those are just some of the little things in the pipeline that we're working on, and we hope that God is going to give us the power and the opportunity.
I'm speechless. I'm just listening to you. So honestly, I got carried away.
Yeah.
It's a good thing to see this kind of gesture. I think this will go a long way to help our people, especially those that are suffering. I just thank you so much for your family, for all this kind of contribution towards our people. Myself here, Gaza Media, Enes Kumba, I'm also from Leban. So when I saw this, I also get carried away. I'm sorry for that. It usually happens, but sometimes emotion takes over.
Right,
sometimes you cannot come to it.
Yeah, positive emotion.
Positive emotion, exactly.
Yes. Also, but do we have to talk about your projects?
Yes, so I think
the anniversary and
yes, okay, I think Terence, let's see how much more minutes we got here. Let's say we have about 10 more minutes to go. We'll wrap it up at that point. So yes, I think the convention is coming on again in 6 months, and I think according to the file, you did mention about the anniversary.
Yeah.
Is that the anniversary of LECUDO USA? The anniversary of LECUDO Cameroon, or the anniversary of LECUDO in general? Which anniversary are we referring to?
Of course, LECUDO USA.
Okay.
I don't speak for LECUDO Cameroon. So now seriously, for an organization to be 30 years in existence, especially in the United States, it is important for us to to meet and take stock, so that people can appreciate what Leban people. Before we came here, other people have been in LECUDO USA. People who founded it they have their place, and this will be an opportunity for us to go down that memory lane to show those who initiated LECUDO USA. First of all, the founders. That is important. You know, when people do good things, you need to acknowledge it. And there have been other people who have been involved all along the way, both in terms of their time and effort and skills, but also in terms of money. And again, more importantly, in terms of ideas. So the 30th anniversary, which is also the 2023 annual convention, it's taking place in Ohio, Columbus, Ohio, and it's gonna be the last weekend of July, which is, I believe, is July the 28th to the 30th. And if anybody who is Leban, if somebody is Leban and misses that event, because what we are putting a steering committee in place that it's made up of people with very important and specific skill sets. The steering committee we put this year is not just, it's a power committee. There are a lot of ideas. We are even hoping to do a concert where musicians, we bring in musicians from Cameroon, including our own boys, to offer them a platform to promote Afrobeat and the Mwe music. And we already have someone who is a keen believer in promoting the Mwe culture through music. It's an Ivo Tasson, who has volunteered to really take this head on. So it's going to be a different, and if we're able to get those musicians here, they're going to make a tour. So the convention is going to be huge, and there are going to be a lot of different activities for that convention. And Ohio has really told us that they promised us they are up to the task. Ohio people, yeah, they are up to the task. So we would encourage everyone to plan to attend that convention the last weekend of July. But also, very important, we are also making sure we offer invitations to our brothers and sisters in Cameroon. And everybody knows that for you to get an invitation, all you need to do is pay your $100 annual development dues. And we encourage people to pay early so that those invitations, our target is that by mid-February, they are ready. People have enough time to book interviews, because we feel that for our people to be going through the Mexico road, that is fine, and it's very difficult now. If people can have opportunities to come here legally through this invitation, these events, that is good. We want to do our own effort to help families through that. But again, you might want me to talk about some of our projects that we have, right?
Yeah, I was looking at what some of the things that are noted down here.
I might want to talk about the small business.
Yes, because I know we've been talking about not always giving somebody a fish, but always trying somebody how to fish.
Right.
Yeah. So about micro kind of project or program where somebody can maybe borrow money or get some money, start up a business, and
right.
Do you have a committee set up for that?
Right. So we have this memorandum of understanding that we're finalizing with the Foretier Dennis and Lenora Foretier's Foundation, which is based in currently in Cameroon, and has a big project to help small business owners build capacity and give them additional capital. So we were lucky that Dr. Dennis Foretier, it's a Leban man, he thought he should contribute and help our own Leban and the BLM people benefit from this project that his organization got funding for. We are also going to expect it to contribute to assist our people. So think about it. And this is going to focus on IDPs, youth and women. People are youth and women. People are helping these people with fish, we teach them how to fish. And over time, these same people are those who are going to pay school fees for their kids. So once we inject this capital and training, technical know-how to prop them up, I think it's going to have a magnificent impact on this vulnerable population, which are the IDPs of. And we are very grateful again to Dr. Foretia for doing this and trusting in us to do this. Yeah. And it's going to cover. We're going to be covering the Southwest, the Northwest, the West region, Littoral, and Center. 5 regions. Yeah, but our principal focus, the majority of our work is going to be in the West region, where the majority of our IDPs are. Right.
Yeah. Let me wrap it up here, dear viewers. I think we're almost coming to the end of this program. I want to thank you all for tuning in to Gaza Media to listen to these folk talk about the bank. Please remember, always share this content, especially to the bank people, to really listen to some of the useful information. They say information is wealth. When you have information, when you know when things are happening, you will also participate and also be part of this kind of community organization and continue to work in partnership with you, all that you are doing. I just want to thank you for taking the time to be here at Gaza Media. Maybe I will just give you guys one minute each or 30 seconds to wrap it up or to just greet the audience.
Right. So let me conclude by saying that we know our the bank has a problem with roads. We are going to face that head on. We have a committee we put in place to work on our road issue to solve that, to help us solve that problem, and take control of our destiny and not keep relying on people who cannot help us. So we're going to have a short-term fix where we're working on a contractor to go and fix the road, while we're working on another long-term project where we'll buy equipment. But we have a town hall that is going to take place on the 18th of February. We're going to be laying out a lot of plans for this very ambitious program that is going to solve the problem for our roads indefinitely. So again, on behalf of LECUDO USA and our able executive, we just want to thank all our viewers, thank all our donors, those who sacrifice their time, especially our standing committees that are really behind, most of these efforts that we are doing. So thank you so much, Gaza Media, for your contribution to the community, and my brothers here who are really doing great. Thank you for for all you do for LECUDO and the Bank people, and also a shout out to Dr. Fonkem and Dr. Palmeri for healing. What they bring forth through Healing Beyond the Horizon. Again, thank you.
So thank you, Mr. Ernest, for this special occasion, and where we are able to talk to our people and tell them exactly what is on the pipeline. On behalf of LifeBridge International, I really want to, say that LifeBridge is open. So if somebody is out there who is fair-minded, is open-minded, and willing to contribute or willing to be a part of LifeBridge Board of Directors, or if you just have a great idea that you want to share and be a part of it, we really welcome that idea. So you can get in touch with us. I think Mr. Ennis is going to put up my number there, which is 240-645-8864. So if you call us, bring your ideas, we are open, and we just want to be able to give back to the community, because that is where we come from. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Richard. Thank you both. Viewers, again, we have come to the end of this program. We want to thank you for your time, for listening to us, to continue to stay tuned to Gaza Media, as we have always focused on community news, community reporting, especially this kind of project. These are all community-based organizations, non-profit organizations, LECUDO USA and LifeBridge International, helping the bank people, their people back in Africa. So it is our moral responsibility here at Gaza Media to bring this information to you. Please, for any media coverage, contact us through our number on the screen, 606-545-2490. And again, my name is Ernest for today's edition. Thank you and bye-bye.